If you have spent any time looking at either side of the debate surrounding the lives of people like myself, then you have no doubt heard of puberty blockers. There's often a great cloud of confusion surrounding these inhibitors due to the disinformation put out by people biased against transgender children, teens, and adults. Currently, there are 2 hormone suppressors that are marketed to patients. The first, Leuprolide or Depo-Lupron, is an injectable that's used monthly or every 3 months. The second, Supprelin or Hysterelin, is an implantable device that has to be replaced yearly. Due to their patent status, it may be a few more years before these drugs ever see a generic being produced. Therefore, the costs for these treatments are extremely high to the detriment of the patient's physical and mental health. With either treatment, there is some level of psychological burden to the patient, perhaps even to their family, but that's much less relevant. Therefore, the treatments are generally only sought out when one is in critical need. These drugs are also not just used by transgender individuals. At a rate of 0.02% for children that were assigned male at birth, and 0.01% for children assigned female at birth, puberty just happens too early. If that sounds subjective, that's because it very much is. After all, medicine is the art of applying science to heal other people. The guidelines for precocious puberty generally consider a transition before the age of 8 in AFAB individuals and 9 in AMAB individuals to be undesirable. However, treatment is optional. A doctor would not consider treatment if the patient is not in distress and the parents are not alarmed. That very particular scenario is about the only time when a child under the age of 11 would be considered for treatment with these drugs. Both puberty suppressive drugs are inefficient and rather useless prior to the onset of puberty, as their main method of action is to block the luteinizing hormone and the follicle-stimulating hormone. Generally, before prescribing these drugs, a doctor is looking for Turner stage 2, meaning that the child has pubic hair and possibly nipple buds. Once those signs are present, it is known that the drugs will act appropriately and begin suppressing any further signs of development. If cessation of the treatment does occur, then that child will begin to develop without negative side effects along the path of their naturally produced hormones. There are no long-lasting side effects to either reproductive health or bone health or any other factor. Of course, there could be the awkwardness of going through puberty at a different age, but that's essentially what I'm doing right now and what many other people are doing. And it's really not that bad. People can make it that bad by acting like they're still in middle school and being one-dimensional, but for the most part, those people are few and far between, except online. The suppression of puberty is also an off-label usage of these medications. They were originally developed to help control cancers that are sensitive to sex hormones. For example, prostate cancer can increase in size when exposed to LS or FSH. In a systematic review and meta-analysis of quality of life and psychosocial outcomes, researchers identified and analyzed 28 studies that enrolled 1,833 participants. The study concluded that suppressing puberty and then treating the patient with cross-sex hormones when appropriate led to significant improvement in mental health and quality of life among transgender individuals with gender dysphoria. They did note one caveat with the data, and they referred to it as low quality. However, since it would be unethical to run controlled trials in that situation, it's understandable. It's also not really that surprising that the information we do have is minimal, considering how many people out there believe the science is settled in their hateful favor. In time, it's likely we will find the same trend as we continue to apply more robust scientific methodologies. For now, we only have findings that show 80% of people that received treatment for gender identity disorder showed significant improvement in their dysphoria. 78% had an improvement in their psychological comorbidities that were put on them by external societal stressors. 80% had a massive improvement in their quality of life. 72% even reported improvement in their sexual function. When studies conclude puberty suppression may be considered a valuable addition to the clinical management of gender dysphoria in adolescents, I really don't hear prevent people from getting that treatment because I'm uncomfortable. If you wish for further reading or you'd like to double check what I'm saying, you can check the description box. It has the transcript, and it is cited for your convenience. It is somewhat understandable to be cautious about providing children treatment like this. However, the risk is so minimal, and there are so many obstacles that have to be climbed over to get to them that it's really not any of our business. In fact, if I could summarize all of the videos that I make, it's basically that people's lives aren't your business. Just let them live it. Let them do what's best for them. After all, none of us really know what the heck we're doing. We're just guessing at the steps to get us to a better place. It's really time to put away the mask that says we care and actually consider what might be best for us to do for other people. And sometimes that's getting out of the way and shutting the fuck up. I hope you stay safe, my witchlings, and please know that you are incredible. Until next time, I love you, and goodbye.